hamburgers, hot dogs, coleslaw, bok choy,
Pasta salad.
bulgogi,
Potato salad.
orange chicken,
Wimpy burgers.
tuna fish. All right, let's be serious. Let's see here. Foods, okay. Let's just start back at the very beginning, and we'll do some appetizers. Chicken wings,
Mozzarella sticks.
jalapeno poppers.
Nachos.
Ooh, good one. Let's see here. Potato skins.
Loadcast!
Listen, coming in from outer space, from LA and some faraway places, it's the Loadcast. It's the Loadcast. It's a blast when you listen to Loadcast.
That's right, it is a blast when you listen to Loathcast. This is Pat. I'm hosting episode 32 of Loathcast, and if you can't tell, it's about food. Something that I hope we all have a little bit to do with in our day-to-day life. If we're not, then, man, this economy's bad. We've got a bunch of stuff from, like you heard earlier, Nate, Owen. We've got some from Kirk, Regan, well, the whole gang. So let's just let it get started. I'll talk to you a little bit later.
Here's a great story. It involves maggots and Twinkies. So, I'm about 7 years old, and I grew up in Gresham, Oregon. Not the most affluent of places, I will say. So, my mom did some of her shopping at the 99-cent store. She bought some Twinkies there. And for weeks, my brother and sister and I were consuming these Twinkies. We thought they were great, eating them. We would sneak them because what actually ended up happening was my brother was so overweight as a kid that my parents had to put a lock on the cupboards and on the fridge so that he wouldn't eat all the food during the summers. So we had the lock on the fridge and on the cupboards, and so when we could, we would sneak some Twinkies. And after a few weeks, my mom decided there was something wrong with these Twinkies, but she wouldn't tell us what it was. So I remember going to the 99-cent store with my brother, and my mom brought a box of the Twinkies there, and she showed them to the store manager, and we went to the front counter. He opened up the box, grabbed one of the packages of Twinkies, unwrapped it, broke it open. Inside, tons of maggots. We'd been eating those for weeks. It was one of the most disgusting moments of my life. And my mom got a refund. She got like $5 back. And we had been eating maggots for like 3 weeks.
First story. I was 15 years old when I got hired at Hayden's Lakefront Grill in Tualatin. It's like a little 2-star place, but we used to do about 1,000 plates a night on a busy Friday in the summer. Anyways, I was 15, just got hired, and I was working in the pantry and doing prep work, which is basically the bitch work of the restaurant industry, if you don't know. Anyways, my supervisor was gone for the day because he went to the hospital. He spilled boiling soup all over himself after having his foot fall through a milk crate that was in front of the large soup container or whatever. Anyways, he poured it all over himself and he burned himself, and so I'm there alone, and I'm making croutons. We had a brand new serrated edge knife, and I cut into my left index finger halfway into the bone, so deep that I couldn't remove the knife myself. And I'm sitting there, and I've just cut myself, and the host is looking at me. What the hell happened, Owen? I was like, well, I have a knife in my fucking finger. Help me out. She's like, well, don't pull it out. I was like, no, you have to help me. And so she's like, well, just put it down on the counter. I put it down on the counter. We pop it off, and this fountain of blood starts pouring all over the uncooked croutons, which hopefully we threw away. I can't remember. So anyways, I just got the job, and I was pretty afraid of getting fired, and my boss had already left. So they patched me up. They put a little butterfly Band-Aid on it, put a little finger condom on it, put a latex glove glove on my hand, duct taped it to my wrist, and told me that I better get my ass back on the line. And that was my promotion.
Ivy's invited me over for crawdads. We cooked them in a broiler, and then we spread newspapers out on the coffee table and devoured these scrumptious. And then there's ribs with the Ivies. Wet linen towels for napkins because we knew it was going to be so messy. And lest we forget that deep-fried turkey last Thanksgiving. Tell me about the food in Brazil.
Churrascaria, I think it's called. Churrascaria, where they bring different cuts of meat that are cooked over an open flame, marinated. Lamb, chicken, steak. And they come to your table and they slice it off. So you just sit there and gorge on meat for about an hour. It's all you can eat. The vegetables and rice.
Fruit? They like?
Yeah, big fruit.
Pineapple.
A lot of fruit. A lot of fruit. Some of the restaurants you go to, they slice everything off and you pay by the pound. So you buy by weight. But a lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables, and really, really pretty salty seasoned meats. They're real good.
That's my brother Ryan. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you giving us a little bit of a sample of the food that you had on your trip to Brazil. Sounds like you had a good time. I don't know what's coming up. Lael is going to play something on the drums. We've got a little bit of bits from some more people. So I'll just shut up. You can listen to some music and listen to the rest of the show. And I'll talk to you later.
He talked about the egg salad people. This was years and years ago.
The egg salad people, huh?
This was when I was 18. The egg salad people were in the closet.
They're not full conversations. I don't believe it's not anything discernible. It's a lot of, if it's anything like my dad, it probably is. It's potato salad people. There's a lot of that one.
Kind of what it was.
Fuck Homeland, he talks too much. Okay.
I'd been on the job for a couple more months after that, and thought I was pretty hot shit at it, you know? I mean, making salads is a pretty challenging position, believe it or not. You have to, you know, deal with a lot of lettuce and vegetables and mayonnaise-based products. It's disgusting. Anyways, I was really busy one night, and didn't have time to do what they asked us to do, which is check through all the lettuce to make sure there's nothing living there. Well, I didn't do that. I just poured all the lettuce into the big lettuce tub and was making salads all night. And all of a sudden I heard a lady scream in the dining room. And that's never a good sign if you work in the restaurant industry. That's it means one of two things, usually a lawsuit. Well, in this particular case, the general manager of the restaurant stormed back into the pantry area, threw down a plate of food, and said, "Look at the corner of this plate." I said, "What?" He said, "Just look at the corner." And looked at it, and there, flopping in balsamic vinaigrette, was a live, half-eaten moth that I had fed to a customer. And my incompetency was rewarded by promotion. So, there you go. The moth had been bitten into, but it was just this butt part. Its wings were still flapping. It might have just been its nervous system reacting to the pain, and it was actually dead. But it was in a highly agitated state, and I did not get over it for a while, actually, because the lady had actually swallowed part of this thing.
Oh, speaking of the other, I'm over my dad's, okay, and it's a stormy day. It's like week before last, and out on the back deck, just cover like this over it. We're hanging out, you know, having coffee in the morning. His neighbor friend comes over, and we're all hanging out there, bullshitting. And we hear this weird squealing noise. What the fuck is that? What is that? And we finally get up and we look over out from underneath the cover, over the roof of the house. There's a birch tree, really tall birch tree, and up in the top of it are 2 raccoons, and they're kind of like climbing around after each other and nipping at each other. It's like, oh, they're out there fighting. Wait a minute. They're not fighting. And before you know it, he finally gets around and mounts, and it's like,
Oh my lord.
they were up there for like
Raccoon
2
love.
hours. And it's blowing, and it's pouring down rain, and then it's hailing, and they're still up there. And about every 10 minutes or so, he'd get his Viagra on again, and away they
Wow.
go. Yeah, it was one of the most impressive displays of amor I've ever.
Amore.
Yeah. So
As we sat there for an hour watching them.
Well, we kept checking back in on it.
Raccoon love.
The neighbor dogs had been barking all morning, and we couldn't figure out why. It was the raccoons were messing with it. Yeah. So now we call it that fucking tree.
Ah.
Yeah.
It's a poplar tree.
It's a fucking tree.
Or a little,
But it's fairly heavily wooded in the area, and it's a neighborhood. But
heavily wooded.
But the hell,
I can't believe you just said that.
there's actually
You just said heavily wooded. Here come the hiccups. It's only like 9. We're in trouble.
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
When Buddy would come down to San Francisco, we'd venture out, and really one of the first things that he really dug was going to Happy Happy Donuts. Not sure that's the name of it, but that's Buddy's name for it. But he would come back from the adventure a few blocks away with some donuts, and from that is when I got my habit and addiction for plain cake donuts and chocolate milk. That's my favorite breakfast meal.
JoJo's
Pizza.
chicken fingers.
Chicken pot pie.
Buffalo wings.
I already said chicken wings, so that's pretty close to buffalo wings. Macaroni and cheese.
Green beans.
Asparagus. Broccoli. Lettuce. Pulpa. Oranges. Carrots. Apples.
Tomatoes.
Celery.
Son of a bitch. Lettuce.
Onion. I already said lettuce, by the way. Onion.
No, you didn't. You said celery.
No, I said lettuce.
You were fucking clown. You said.
You'll see, I said lettuce.
You said celery.
Before. I said lettuce before.
Stop touching me under the table.
Yes, so here's to Ray Lawrence. Cheers to Ray. He passed on yesterday. He was a great friend of my father's, and actually of all my parents' friends, he was my favorite. And he ran the food cart called Limey's down at the Saturday Market, and made the best sausage rolls in the world, which most of us can attest to that. And
Being for our wedding.
Being a victorious wedding. So here's to you, Ray. Sorry to see you go. Lots of good memories, especially when I went to see you at the Harvey's Comedy Club. There, still remember some of those great jokes you told. I know I'm not going to tell that. Cheers, Ray. A couple more beers first.
Thanks, everybody. This is the end of the first part of this episode. I'm not really sure how long it's going to go, but I'll see you in just a little bit. Bye.